How y'all feeling out there? See what we got. See what we got. See what we got. We're gonna be coming here for a little while to see what we working with. Mm, 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 mm. Close that real quick. That thing say. Okay, we got this real quick. Let's see what we're gonna talk about tonight. Hmm. See how everybody's doing out there so far. So we talking about so far. Gotta think of what I want to talk about tonight. Real interesting topic tonight. See what we working with. And I'm gonna be on for a little while. I'm gonna see what we working with. I'm a very looking at different topics. We're gonna talk about it. Some people are pretty much afraid of it. See what we're working with. Quite a bit. Hope y'all doing all right tonight. We're gonna talk about it. If everybody's coming through high and dry, come on in. Hope you're having a good Sunday, early, middle afternoon, evening, maybe early Monday, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for coming through. Please hit that poll question, smash up those likes. I am live and in color, and I will be here for a while. Depends on how many, again, always do by based on how many people come through. But if we get enough amount come through, I will be here for a while. Appreciate you coming through tonight. I hope you're having a good day. So thank you for everybody taking the poll so far. We're gonna definitely gonna have a good amount tonight. See what else I can get on here real quick. We're gonna try it again. Let it be known. Cause I'm hitting up all these joints today. It's like situation. It's a heavy topic. Afraid of it. Um, what's happening? How you doing? How you doing? Thank you for coming through. How are you tonight? Doing good. Appreciate you coming through. And I'm live. You are too. 50-50 so far with the split. Yeah, it's a real hot topic because with the federal, what Trump's pushing and everything, and you can have separate water fountains, you can have separate, So, okay, I heard you. How are you doing? Feel free to tell me where you're coming from. I got you loud and clear. So, anyway, we are going to be here for a minute, see what we got so far. People coming in. Hope that you had a good day so far. We're in the first official weekend of spring, and we hope there's going to be some good weather. We'll definitely be seeing some interesting opinions. Looking forward to people having takes and thoughts and all those fine results. So, you know. Okay, I heard you already now. And you already said holla as you turn into DJ Khaled. But let me know where you're coming from and tell me what's your story. And hope everybody's feeling all right. Everything that's going on is crazy. It is a crazy time, but we got it here sublime. We're doing good tonight. And again, if you're coming through and you're watching, feel free to hit the smashes up. I'm asking questions because I'm seeing people that have already been impacted by the changes, and some of them voted for it, some of them didn't. Some people didn't know what they were getting into. So, are you ready for it? Could you imagine a separate water fountain? Could you imagine separate stores, uh, separate department stores, taking it back? Can you dig it? Can you live with it? You know. So, Miss muchos grande este volache. Now, I'm not gonna do a whole lot of that, but sometimes I do some Espanol. You El Padre, was she, let's see, 67%. So anyway, it's a good topic and glad to have people coming through. And I'm sure that people gonna have some comments. And that's a lot to cipher through. How does it make you feel with the thought of the divide and the thought of, you know, are you okay with it? Imagine having separate water fountains. Could you imagine separate bathrooms? Can you imagine all that that's going down? And that if it actually gets implied in places. Well, now you'll know if you go to a restaurant that they won't mess with you. That's been known. Sí, sí, señor. Adios. So you know that they don't want anything to do with you. Now you don't have to like be dumbfounded and get your feelings hurt. You know, you just sit there and you thinking, okay, all right, because if you've had that problem, have you had that? And maybe if they bring it, if they do segregate legally, then you know where the police, where these issues. It's gonna be crazy. It's crazy. Now we also gonna talk about how it impacts with restaurants. Wow. I had bad episodes of some restaurants. I didn't get some service at some Denny's and I let it be known. They ain't give me nothing, not even a tummy ache. So I never even got nothing. So just throwing it out there. Throwing it out there. It's a 50-50 split so far with this poll question. I am not surprised or shocked. I'd imagine that there will be a lot more people that will probably be indifferent to the circumstances. I do. I think they're going to be kind of indifferent to the circumstances of it. So, anyway, as I said, and if you don't catch this broadcast live, it'll be on the podcast. I will do it. And I will do commentary to a blank screen. I got no problems with that because I have no problems with talking. I will definitely be taking Q and answers. And also, if people ever want to come in live and they want to meet up, let me know what works for you as I present it forth. But yeah, it's a real issue. It's a real issue. It's something that I know I've been thinking about the past few days because I had a good friend of mine and my cousin hit me up on the Facebook bubble, and they both saying you know, they want to get out the states. They think it's draining them, and it just blew my mind. So I thought, is that, and I'm hearing other people talking about it too. So if that's something that you can relate to and identify with, let me know. Let me know. Let me know if it's something that you definitely relate to. Because it's a serious situation right now. I don't think that some people are not taking it too serious. Some people are. I think you're going to have to take it serious because everything is pointing to all the legislation and everything that's being signed and documented and and what have you. So so lady, you're gonna be like, you can't run from it. So and if it's something that you feel that's impactful and impeding on different situations, especially with all the deportations, etc., let me know in the comments, you know. So feel free to talk about it. I'm not gonna run from nothing because I'm here to talk about it, you know. We know there's agendas being worked, and we know that there is definitely a Jim Crow-ism going, so we're not afraid to talk about it. You see it in so many different aspects of life and what's going on and how it impacts and legislation and language and so on and so forth. So we're not going to sugarcoat nothing about it. So if you feel like talking about it, let's be about it. You know, I'm going to see what I'm working with real quickly with everything. And I definitely see there's a lot of people that are coming through. So if you want to hit that poll, feel free. Please hit that like. And if you got any comments, and don't be afraid to come from that screen. Just come on here and do some talking, and let's get in between. Let's make it roll. Let's make it roll like a jelly roll. So hope everybody having a good day so far, and we just getting started. We just getting started. You know, we just getting started. Because I will definitely do talking and everything like that. But again, I know that there are people that, again, these topics are pretty strong. It's amazing how it kind of stays on the mind. Just getting messages with people saying, I can't take it, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's heavy. It's heavy. It's heavy. And okay, so we're doing this stuff right now. We're just looking at everything right now. Okay, we're getting everything in real quickly. We just kind of leaning in. I know that people be up there watching everything like that, so feel free. Don't be shy. Let's come on here and see where you are. I definitely know that there are people watching. Yeah, we get asked questions all the time. How we feel about, you know, what the politics, the DEI, the intentions, there's a lot going on. It's heavy. So just thought I'd be talking about it. Yeah, 60% saying going back. It's oof. This could be a very hot topic. It's one of the ones that people probably may not want to come on the screen. They might. All depends on which way they roll with it. I'm not afraid to talk about these topics because they front and central. The scary part about these topics is that it's something that you only thought that your daddy, your granddaddy, or your great granddaddy, or uncles and aunts. I don't know who this is, so you got the wrong. You're on the wrong section. Oh, I'm learning the social media thing on ground. Okay, well, no, you won't get blocked. You just welcome your comments. Tell me where you're coming from. You didn't say anything offensive. It's only when someone says something or they appear that they're not in the wrong form. I don't block to be blocking, but if someone says something that does not pertain to what I'm doing, I have to let them know and then I have to keep it moving. So I had to take somebody off because they were saying something that did not pertain to what it was. But I appreciate you coming through. 57% saying that yes, we are. I anticipate this will be a hot button topic. I welcome the thoughts and the feedbacks on it. I got no problem with it. We are really looking at everything in totality. So let's go. You watching me now? I'm live. And tell me what's your question, where you're coming from, um, and did you take the poll and did you hit the like? And then we can go from there. social media is pretty easy to pick up on. By and large, if you're on the right place and you've got, we're having real intellectualized conversation, it's not hard. So I don't make anything difficult on this channel. Just ask that if we participate, we have good conversations and we go from there. That's all. So I am just looking forward to like having conversion. We're gonna be on here for a minute. Yes, you can watch. Well, so my name is Mr. Max. So what you do is you hit the subscribe. So if you want to hit the subscribe, feel free. As a matter of fact, there's a few ways with the channel. You can hit the subscribe. You can also hit the membership. If you ever choose to donate, you can. There's different ways to keep up with what I do and when I broadcast. And if you're a regular and you have questions and comments, we can work that out. But you're not lost on this channel, though. I mean, pretty straightforward, though. And I try to be helpful as I can be. I don't, only if people are coming on being belligerent, spiteful, disrespectful, distasteful, then I have to delete them. But if they come on with some class and some dignity and we have good conversations, and they usually come back. I've had people that have stayed and we've had some great conversations on here. We talk about topics of the day where we feel what we're looking for. So that's all. And it's not hard to stay on here at all. It's kind of a slow night, so I'll probably be on for about another 15 minutes. But it's definitely good. Where's the button for me join? There should be you should be able to see a subscribe button if you click on my name. You should click on the name and it should have a button where under my name under this page where you should be able to click. Because there is subscribe buttons and there's membership, there's different buttons and stuff. So you can go on and hit that thing up. Because it always notifies me when people join, subscribe. And then of course, what I will do once we have conversation, and of course, if you have video requests or things of that topic, and we go from there, fine. Earth, Wind, and Fire, but interesting question. Thank you, Calvin. Love them both. My favorite, they're my two favorite bands ever, and they're one and two with me. And sometimes it's one and one A, but I gotta give Earth, Wind, and Fire the edge. Their run moved me more, their musicianship moved me more, the songwriting. But the Ozzy's is right after when you consider the crazy, ridiculous longevity of Ronald Ozzy, Ozzy Brothers, and Impact, the 3+3 era, all the way to the Mr. Biggs era, and incredible. But EWF got in the prime for prime, top for top. I gotta go Earth Wind. Great question too. See, only someone who really follows me knows that those are my two favorite bands ever, and they're one and two in my ranking as far as bands go. Impact too, culture, etc. Because very talented, very, very inspiring bands. 56% saying yes, so we're definitely getting some good poll action tonight. I like the hands and the gestures. And there ain't no wrong answer. There is no wrong answer. I mean, because you could make a strong case for the Isaac just because of the fact they did theirs in multiple decades, multiple eras, multiple people sampled and covered their songs, and you can't go wrong. But I gotta give Earth, Wind, and Fire the edge overall for me. I tend to like more Earth, Wind, and Fire albums. I like Ozzy Brothers got a lot of songs though, so and their songs go back to the 50s. That's what's so crazy. Great one. If it was based just on Lionel Richie, I probably now who did I listen to the more? If I got to pick out the two, what's happening? What's happening? I'm on for about 20 minutes, so let's do it. I will probably give a slight edge to the Ohio players because they were versatile and they hit with two different eras. The Junie Morrison with the electro funk with Funky Worm, and then you go to Fire. But the Commodores is right there. They both in my top 10 bands of all time. It's that the Ohio players had a couple more songs. And they definitely inspired Sugarfoot inspired Lionel Richie's Ow. But I like them both though. But that's a good question though. I like this. This is my non-drink champs. And what I do on here is you can do a either and or. The reason why I come to picking them is because I think that the musicianship, the Ohio players had the musicianship. Can they? Yeah. If they get their offensive line in check, they have to have the running game and they have to find on defense they have to be able to stop the run. P Funk. I listen to a lot of Zappa. Come on, you're not gonna beat P Funk. Better song catalog. It's the songs. In fact, George Clinton co-wrote. He co-wrote "More Bounce Down." So you know, Roger was bad and I loved it, but that's P Funk. Better musicianship, better band. That one's a no brainer for me. Calvin. All due respect, that one's not tough because Parliament. There are bands that I like better than Parliament, but we going straight funk to funk. You're not beat. And I like Zapp a lot too. Roger and Zapp, I listen to a whole lot. Roger was bad too, but not beating the mothership. I don't say they winning. I said they can. You ask can it? For me, Michael Jackson. But I'm gonna tell you why. I like his songs better. I thought the vocals in the songs. I like Prince a lot. They both great. Two of the greatest ever. Big fan of both of them in different things. And Michael inspired Prince. Prince inspired Michael. But Michael had the songs for me. You know, I don't care how you cut it. Uh, I could listen to his albums and I liked his songs. I think that's the key. I think that versatility. I think his versatility actually loaned itself more than Prince's did because you gotta remember the decades for the come out in the '60s, to hit in the '70s, the '80s, and the '90s, and the '00s. Prince to me was his top form in the '80s. That was his peak in his prime. Live showmanship stayed on, but I think his best stuff was in the '80s. I don't know about all that, and I usually don't have nobody telling me that. So I hope you a woman because I don't want. I'm just saying I don't usually have nobody saying that. That's a big. That's a Scooby Doo rump route. So yeah. But anyway, Kansas City can win if they get all that stuff together. So they have to get that together. Oh, better for what? You got to tell me what your criteria is. If you're talking about as a journalist, it's Stephen A. If you're talking about as a personality, Shannon Sharp. If you're talking about who I would rather listen to, is Shannon Sharp. Depends on what your question is. If we talking about as a journalist, it's Stephen A. But if we're talking about the TV shtick, the humor, someone that you kind of vibe with, is Shannon Sharp. But I don't really take neither one of them serious because we're not really in the day and era of journalism like that. You want some journalists, you better come here to these YouTube streets. You know, you listen to Two Raw, Sports Fitness, or somebody like that, or some of the other cats that talk about it. That's where you go to. You don't look at them heads on sticks on there with you. Nick Wright's podcast is cool, but his sports takes is corny. Well, that's how you got to go. I can't deal with trolls, so you got to go. Um, Media personality Shannon Sharp, Shaka Khan, because she got the better songs, the better voice. Now Donna Ross with the Supremes would tire over, but if I go by solo career and everything, I give Shaka. Shaka's voice was more hitting. Donna's incredible talent, though. I mean, for the stylist, and when you take in consideration, but Shaka did the thing though. Okay, I don't know who Guess Who Back is, so we just gonna take it for what it is. But thank you for coming through. I don't know who this is though. I have no idea, and I'm not doing no guessing game. Oh, I probably did, but it was under a different name, and so when you do that, you got to remember. 2 weeks ago, I get different. When I do live streams, I go through different streams, so you gotta be understand that I'm not gonna have the same, because I get a lot of people coming through. If you watch my live streams, they be pretty busy sometimes. I'm getting craziness today, so it's best that you just, you know, tell me who you are and what's up. Anyway, appreciate the people taking the poll, and we definitely getting some views and clicks tonight. Thanks for hitting the like button up, and please feel free to share the forum. I don't do trolls, so don't come in here talking about I like your lips, I like this, I like that, because I don't do that. You don't even know who I am, so please introduce who you are first before you ask such a question. Okay. Um, Luther, better songwriter, better vocalist. I like Teddy, but I'm giving Luther the edge. Luther moved me more. I listen to far more, but Teddy was good for what he did. That's not even a funny. Come on, you got to do a better choice than these two. Of course, it's Dan Tony. Scott Brooks ain't winning nothing but his family picnic. Come on now, that's not a good one. Dan Tony in the blowout. He changed for better or for worse how you look at offense in the NBA. Luther Vandross for the W. Luther for the W. I can't believe someone said Scott Brooks. That's hilarious. I didn't know Scott Brooks had any fans though. All right. Thank you, everybody that's been hitting this poll up. 62% saying yes. This is one of my more lively live streams. So it's good to see that people are coming through, commentating. Thanks for hitting the likes up. And when you do that, the algorithms are showing that, hey, this channel is happening. We on the ball. Appreciate you coming through. Got a lot to talk about. Anyway, yeah, Luther. Not only on that one, because if you know me, Scott Brooks didn't have half a career. Dan Tony had MVPs. He Steve Nash MVP, James Harden MVP, and he got to coach the Lakers. Scott Brooks, no one knows. I'm just saying. I don't want to embarrass nobody, but you know, Vanity Six, because Prince and Vanity Denise Matthews had chemistry. The Apollonia 16 was kind of fluff. As a matter of fact, it made me not respect him so much as a music producer, because I thought some of the stuff was okay on that album, but Vanity Six moved me far more. And 82 was his peak and his prime as a producer, as far as I'm concerned. Prince was on his apex with that. Okay. Calvin Jackson, you got some good questions. Thank you. You must be digging up on some of the stuff I listened to, because definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I remember 'em. But anyway, good topics though. Musically. On the funk side, I think 82 was Prince's prime and peak on the funk side. Versatility, I'd say 87. So, do you have a question? Because I'm doing a live stream. That's what I'm doing. So if you got a question, feel free. If not, it's pretty self-explanatory. I got a live stream. I think we did this one before, but I'm going to say barely Don Nelson. Barely. It's close though. That's a good topic because that may give me a topic for the future. Um, already said that. Rick James a cameo. I'm taking Rick James. Um, because he was a better songwriter and a lot of his songs age better. I think cameo was strong though. Don't get it twisted. But I think Rick James and I think they outlasted. But I think that his songwriting, he was a singular, and I think that he was more effective. I think he was more effective. So that's me. Yeah, I'm taking Don Nelson because the teams got a little bit more. And Tony was a lot of flash, and he just didn't finish up. It was exciting, but it didn't finish. Because I could see Don Nelson's blueprint. But that's a good topic, though. That's definitely a good one. All right. Thank you, footballer. Have a good day. Thank you for coming through. So that's how I look at it. I give Rick James because of the styling, the songwriting, the versatility, and he could flat out write. I didn't think that Larry Blackmon's writing was the strong suit of Cameo. We loved the groove and the funk, and I loved it. But Rick James could flat out write a song, so that's what I'm going with. Yeah, I think Don Nelson was a little bit more polished and oriented. Think his timing is what worked against him because that era, whereas D'Antoni came around, but D'Antoni did stuff like Skeletal, and he ran people out, and you know, I like what he did as far as individualized sports, but he didn't. If he couldn't win in Phoenix, he wasn't going to win anywhere else. The Lakers was a disaster, and the Rockets thing just kind of backfired on him. So, but had he won a ring, he probably would have been the most important head coach of the last 25 years because of the impact of the Suns. James Brown. Now listen, I probably listen to Al Green a whole lot, but you can't even talk about popular music when I mention James Brown. Changed the sound, of course, of the groove. So, but I love Al Green though. That the Memphis records, and that's tough because I love him for different reasons. But James Brown gonna get that dub. Impact too strong. Good one though. But okay, I got 13 more minutes. Be on for just a little while longer. Having a pretty good night so far because we're getting a lot of. How you doing? How's the cereal? Who is this talking about the cereal? Mention the cereal. Oh wow, wow! You got me on that one. Thank you. Appreciate you coming through. You must have known about my cereal. Who did I tell about my cereal? He is. That's a good one right there. Seymour was strong for New England, and when he got let go by New England, some people forget how bad he was. Oh yeah, he was bad. Oh yeah, your questions are great, Calvin. I tell you, yeah, I need you on here all the time because you got great balanced questions. Even the Prince and Michael one, I didn't feel like you were like it didn't feel samey. So I get to explain in totality, but um tell me which one you agree with and which one you disagree with. I know you don't agree with all my choices, but you asking. But uh, I like the Vandy Six Apollonia Six was because no one never asked that one. That was a fresh one. Now, just because I pick one or the other, I ain't say nobody got blowed out. I just said I pick one or the other. Didn't say anyone was getting blowed out because I like all those acts. Four tops. And I love the spinners. And to be honest with you, I listen to the spinners more, but the four tops, Levi Stubbs, that voice, mm, Still Water, still one of my favorite songs. I love the tone and Reach Out, I'll Be There. Yeah, Simo was bad. Oh, that's why, cause the wood wire, that's what that was. Oh, okay. Thank you for coming through. Oh, wow. You got me good. Next Saturday, too, by the way. Next Saturday. Next Saturday. I'll be there. I got my thing out, so I'll be there. Thanks. Wow, this is a good surprise. I never hear, this is cool. Thank you. The wood wire. That's why I didn't know because you got a different stage name. So I like that though. Thank you. So I will definitely catch you in next week. We can chop it up. Can't do no live streams at work though, because it's not work safe. Even though I don't say nothing that be wrong, but still. Yes, Seymour, for sure. He yeah. Run DMC. But you must be somebody who knows me because I'm gonna tell you why. I love Whodini. Whodini was my favorite. Everybody else was DMC. Okay, thank you. Appreciate this. Appreciate you coming through. Yeah, but DMC was like the appreciate you, man, and thanks for keep. Yeah, we're gonna talk some more. Keep on coming through. I like this. This is good. Um, DMC because they were like the Beatles, Jackson 5 of hip hop. They broke all that, the style from head to toe, the music. They changed another guard. And granted, there weren't as many hip hop acts out, but they had to go up against Michael Jackson, Prince, Van Halen. They had to go against the MTV crew and made a name for themselves and deal with they were something else. This is a good one. No, I don't think he was overrated being called Megatron, but it's because he played for the Lions and they didn't win Jack. You see, stat wise, and his skill set was incredible. But thanks for coming through, Matt. So you welcome anytime you want to come through. But they didn't win. And it's when you ask a question like that, you want to act like he's stat pad. Well, you don't really stat pad as a receiver because you're only going by what the quarterback gives you. That's kind of like Andre Johnson for the Houston Texans. He, um, because Matt Schwab threw all those picks, he was bad. But when you don't win, people got this delusion. They think, oh, you were just stat. No, 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 no. Running backs, receivers, because they're not the high men on the totem pole. It's the quarterback. So you get away with it in that regard. Like Larry Fitzgerald, no one's gonna ever hold the fact that he never won a Super Bowl against him because he was great. But they will hold that they will battle Kurt Warner. They will battle that. See how this works? So that's a good question. If we were now, he had a nickname. He was bad. Is he a bit overrated in terms of someone saying he's one of the 5 or so greatest receivers ever? You can, but as far as his impact, no. No, I appreciate that, Matt. You know, when you mentioned that cereal, that stumped me good. I was like, who knows that I love that? And you do know I bought that cereal too. Got some. Had a mix last night with some cornflakes. So yeah. All right, this poll is going really good. It's split around the lines, but we're glad we got what's really happening tonight. All right. Let me check something real quick because I check my time period before I got to make a beeline. We're going to be on here as long as we keep getting the action and everything. Appreciate everybody coming through tonight. Glad everybody is on through tonight. Like I said, Sunday night or Sunday morning or afternoon or Monday morning, depending on where you are in the world. Thank you for coming through. Let's see. As always, yeah, I dug him. I dug him. I dug him. But I wasn't blown away because Detroit didn't win nothing. Now, you know Matthew Stafford, I called him Matthew Stat Pad because he didn't do nothing till he got to the Rams and he won. So that's why I had a problem. Oh, you that oh you really you know me. The kid in me is gonna take Stacey Lassie because she was the better singer. But if I'm going by the impact and totality, I gotta take Janet Jackson. But oh, that was a good one. I love Stacey Lassie. She was my favorite child teenage singer. Follow her on Facebook. She was on X. I don't know about now. Loved her vocally. She just never. She was working with Narada Michael Walton before Whitney Houston and Mariah, and Mariah sampled her too. A heartbreaker, you know. So vocally it's Stacy, but the career and everything you got to take is Janet. Good question though. You thought you got me though, and if you was like somebody almost know me from how I love Stacey Lattisaw. Loved her. Loved her voice. Because if we just talk about the vocals and talent, I'm taking Stacey Lattisaw. But when you talk about the career and the songs, the impact, the longevity, yeah. And that's the sad part. Personally, I'm gonna take Stacey Lattisaw. Even though Janet got the better career. But those songs still hold up and Lattisaw's voice was better. She quit the business. But she sings circles around Janet Jackson. She just came in an era where, and she didn't want to do. Ooh, ooh, that's a fire one right there. That's gonna be a future one right there. That's why I like it when you on here because you be asking them. You're both asking great questions tonight. Oh, that is fire. Um, I gotta say Dirk because Dirk got him to the finals twice, and he won a ring. And to me, Giannis is like being held back by something. He just it don't quite it ain't quite where it's at now. Stat wise, he got a chance, but I think Dirk went in and got it. I think Dirk just something about Dirk just got the if Giannis had that kind of mojo to run it, because he's got better talent than Dirk had. Right now, he's got better talent. I'm sorry, ain't Damian Lillard considered one of the 75 greatest players? Well, who did Dirk Nowitzki play with that was in their peak and prime that was considered? Don't say Jason Kidd, because Jason Kidd was an old man when he got him just like Peja Stojakovic. Don't mention them two. Dirk took Jason Terry to a finals, okay? Giannis had Drew Holiday. They got rid of him. He went to Boston, won a ring. Stupidity, and I'm not saying it on Giannis's part, but stupidity by the management to let that go. Come on now. If Dirk had a Drew Holiday style with a Bobby Portis on the sidekick and Brooke Lopez in the box, he's gonna win 2 or 3 rings. I'm just saying. Giannis ain't even considered. He might be considered the best player in the East and probably on the fourth best team. Let that sink in. Ooh, ooh. Well, it's easy. I love James and Toomey. I mean, love what they did, and you can argue Juicy Fruit all day, and they had some stuff, but it's Rolls Royce because Norman Whitfield wrote classics. I mean, Car Wash, I could still listen to that song right any day. I want to get next to you. I like him to me a whole lot because of James and to me. I think some of the stuff they had was tight, but Rolls Royce got the better catalog. But it's a good one. You never hear anyone mention those two together. That's a good one though. But I gotta give it to Norman Whitfield though. Oh, this has turned out to be great tonight. Okay, I got 18 more minutes. I'm gonna be on for I picking Dirk because he done it with less and he had more to prove. Giannis, they both had a lot to prove. That's a great topic, which I'll use for future videos, by the way. Because they both overcame a lot. But I mean, Dirk done the thing though. He did the thing. He beat Miami's big three. And that is more impressive than what Giannis did come back from 0-2 against Phoenix. And I can use that preface, but I think Dirk's road to the finals was a lot tougher. When Dirk won, an overseas player, that was like a wow. Giannis winning only because of his skill set, not because of where he came from. So that's the difference in the totality. Okay. We got some live action here tonight. Thank you for coming through. Got some good to have some surprises coming through and then what we got, what we got, what we got. Okay. I love both of these acts. Listen to both of them. Huge fan, but I'm taking the Bee Gees. And Casey's bad. That whole Miami sound, which was the one to put Miami on the machine. Um, Harry Wayne Casey is one of my favorites. But the Bee Gees, the 60s, the 70s, and to reinvent themselves the way they did, and to write all them classic songs with that style and that whole thing is the Bee Gees. But I love them both though, because to play and sing with them horn chants and to take that sound from the islands that the Casey and Sunshine Band did was bad. But it's the Bee Gees because of the songwriting. It's the songs, better catalog, and the Bee Gees just endure. But it is a great question though. And you'd have to kind of know me to know that I like them both though. Great question though. You gotta come back. Yeah, you gotta come back because I'm liking these questions though. These are some good questions. These some good legit music questions too. Not something corny. You know. Thank you for asking that too. I'd say Dusty. Uh they both won one ring, but Dusty Lou didn't get it done in Seattle. That's the only he won all them games in Seattle. Whereas Dusty Baker had the Cubs on the brink if it wasn't for Bartman. Still don't know how he lost that World Series with the Giants with that ball. And he did get Houston to 2 World Series. So he was a multiple threat. That man could flat out manage. Did all right in Cincinnati, but come on now. But Lou was bad though. Lou was bad. Lou was good, but I gotta give Dusty. Mm, good, great question. I gotta say Alexander O'Neal because Shared the Love, duets with Sherelle alone. I like Peebo with Roberta Flack, but he couldn't outgroove Alexander O'Neal. But I will say, Let Your Feelings Flow. I probably listen to that more of the two, but I think Alexander O'Neal had the better move me more. But I do like old people. Afro people with the white suits, but I'm probably listening to Alexander O'Neal more. Yeah, yeah. Good question, though. Yeah, that's a good question. I hope you cats come back tomorrow because I'm gonna definitely come back on time tomorrow. Mm, you were good night. Okay, we got some 59%. Mm, I'm gonna say one way. How you doing? From Akron. Thank you. That's a cool name too. Funky name and a funky place. We'll get double props. Thank you. Tina Marie. Thank you. How you doing tonight? Only reason why I take it one way is because the time I like that name. You know I did in Ohio is the funk capital. Only reason why I take one way is because the time to me, I dug parts of both the first two records. But okay, well thank you for coming through. What's your story? Um, if the time had a fleshed out more and Prince hadn't held it back and let them go, they would have been bigger. It was cool, mellow vibe. It was cool. A lot going on in my mind though. That's why I asked the question below too, because I gotta make some phone calls. I don't know. You tell me what story you want me to know. I don't know. I just came on. I don't know. Um, Glad you came through. Read Arbach because he balanced that team out. He drafted that team. He put that team together, and that was impressive. And he was a standard of a coach. There won't be another Red Auerbach. He was the architect of that dynasty of that run. Phil burned his bridges in Chicago and in LA. Auerbach just quit because he got old. There's a difference. And he though that was a team that was built and assembled. No, we're not talking about sports. We're talking about America right now. If you the poll question is, do you think they're going back to legal segregation? We talk about music, sports, politics, lifestyle. You know, we keep it, but we keep it clean, though. And respectful. That's a good one. That's a good one. Pat Benatar. Stevie Nicks to me was best with Prince and her, and stop dragging my. Pat Benatar did more for me though. I think Benatar was a better live act. So good question though. You think you get me on these pop folks? I listen to so much music. It's crazy. Well, thank you. I appreciate your vibe too. So tell me about yourself. Tell me about yourself. You from here too? Let me know where you're from. Phil is bad. When you can win multiple rings with two different franchises, but it's just the way Arbach he picked the team, he built the team, and he was a GM. And then you go from that Celtics run, then you turn around 15 years later and you draft Larry Bird, you pick it 1 year in advance. I mean, he just had his hands. Thank you so much. Appreciate you too, Calvin. You on point. Thank you. Great list, great topics. He just if Red Auerbach and Jerry West are two of the greatest basketball minds ever to me. So broke barriers. That's why I gotta give it to Red Auerbach. He broke barriers. Black basketball players, they were. So I'm a historian. And that goes with music too. So we vibe on different things though. But that's why I had to pick that. But anyway, Tina Marie, if you still on here, kind of music you like, movies, subject matter, feel free. This is a lively chat. I like this tonight. My timing couldn't have been even better. Glad everybody came through tonight. Talking about Sunday night brings out the best in people, so I really appreciate it. Um, I gotta say Obama because I like how he kind of kept his class about it, if nothing else. Okay, action movies. Okay, that's cool. Ooh, that's a good one. This is a good one. BB King because he's like Bob Marley is to reggae and Michael Jackson is to pop music and so on. But being all honesty, I listen to more Johnny Taylor, to be honest with you. But I love BB King, got his book, you know. But that's a great one though. See the blues side, and I do. Oh man, I believe in you and me. That's my Johnny Taylor jam. I listen to JT a whole lot, but BB King, mm, yeah, I listen to him more. But BB King, we going by the blues and Lucille, because Cook County Jail live is always tough. And on the first record with him and Bobby Blue Bland, yes, yeah, okay. I like Disco Lady, but I like the stuff he did on Stacks, like Who's Making Love to Your Old Lady and Cheaper to Keeper. His real cuts. I'm taking Tony Parker. Tony Parker got it done, and he was leading. Chris Paul never quite could do what Tony Parker did. Better statistically, but I'm taking TP. As a center, as a center, I'm taking Shaq. As a player, I'm taking Wilt Chamberlain. There's a difference. I think Shaq dominated his position, but I think Wilt Chamberlain did more as an all-around player. That's how I'm going to address and answer that. That's just kind of like the Magic Johnson, Steph Curry question. I'll take Steph as a point guard, but I'm taking Magic as a better player overall. That's how I like to answer that. There is a difference between being a positional guy and an all-around player. Nobody all-around play like Wilt Chamberlain. Not when you're a big man and you scored and rebounded and you led the league in assists. But see, if you're talking about dominance as a center and someone that you couldn't mess with, I'm giving you Shaq. It's like Magic could score just 2 points and beat you. Steph Curry has to. So Steph Curry can beat you in different ways, but Magic could do it with only scoring 2 points because he had other things. If Steph Curry don't score 20 plus points, it don't hit the same. See what I mean? So that's how I talk about the difference between position and a player. And that may be kind of confusing for some people. Well, it's not that confusing for me. You know, it's how you know. But they both belong as top 10 players. Shaq and Will both are top 10. And I think Shaq dominating everything, but Wilt's numbers is like Barry Bonds, Babe Ruth style, Jim Brown style, OJ Simpson style. He did it in a way before it became fashionable, and he was doing it in a different, tougher era. Confunction. That's a no-brainer for me. Confunction is what I call a high second tier band. Brit had a great sound, but they had no personality. They were kind of like a once we got past. I like Daz a lot. I like Push, Happy, and I like Sweat Till You Get Wet, the one they did with Ray Parker Jr. But I could only listen to them in their hits formation. Daz is one of the baddest songs ever. Yo. Now I will say this: Daz is the best song that Confunction never did. But I gotta go with Confunction got the better band though. CFS got funk and slow jams. Cause Love Train alone. So, but I did like Brick though. They could play. And Sleepy Brown's daddy was the one that did the flute. So I liked him. Byron, because he went to two finals. Flip was a good coach who coached up, but I don't think he had that next level. Byron Scott got his teams to the finals. And now he sucked after that. And Flip did good in Detroit. But Byron with the Nets with Jason Kidd and them, that was he sucked with the Lakers though. Ain't gonna lie. He was all right, I think, with the pay, so and respect the Flip Sanders though, but Byron Scott. 58% saying yes. That is good. We are booming tonight. OJ's, but I love the Shylights. And Eugene Ruckert was a very strong writer. And I like their songs, but come on, the OJ's with Gambling Hub. And even before that, OJ's are probably the most listened to vocal group I listen to. No week don't go by I don't listen to Love Music or Backstabbers or sing a song or something. Shylights I do have much respect for, but OJ's, man, there are like levels to there's just ways it moves me. And uh Eddie Levert, Gerald and Eddie Levert and Walt Williams, come on. Them two just alone. Yeah, and that's the thing I have to give Byron his due. Love Stairway to Heaven, that was a great song. That's the hitting that note. You got to step by step heaven. I love that. And I listen to so many OJs. Even though I think the Temptations are the greatest vocal group ever for its talent and all that, but I listen to the OJs probably more than anybody. Like that don't make no sense when you ask me because I'm gonna tell you that yeah, I got the Temptations is number one as far as the baddest male vocal group, but the OJs and the Whispers I listen to more as far as my go-to group. So because them vocals and them grooves. Okay. Appreciate 20. Wow. This is on fire tonight. Yeah, but it ain't do nothing with CP3 though. That didn't do nothing. Yeah, I was more impressed with him and Kid, and they didn't even get along. But this is going so great tonight. I almost hate I have to go tonight because this is on fire tonight. This is one of my best live streams in a New York minute. Got so many people coming through. By the way, everybody coming through tonight, please hit the subscription and stay in touch with me because if you do, we can do this more often. The Whispers, and I like the Manhattans a lot. And look, Gerald Austin is one of my favorite vocalists, but the Whispers, nah, the Whispers, nah, they you ain't the Whispers moved me. That whole thing with Leon Silvers. Thank you, team. Thank you so much. And let me know if you're on Facebook or anything like that, because I'm over on Facebook. Instagram too. So I'm not hard to find. If you happen to be on those other places, let me know. Send me a note if you happen to be on that too, because we got to do some more talking. So I appreciate everybody that's coming through though. It's definitely cool. By the way, when you say you listen to old school music, what you like, Tina Marie? What kind of stuff you like? Especially with a name like that. I'm be very curious of what artists come up. I definitely gonna be curious about who you listen to. Calvin is just knocking it out the box, and Jim Brown. Bo didn't get to play long enough, but had he played, it may have been closer. But Jim Brown, Jim Brown. Ooh, this is a good one. It's a Minneapolis special right here. Cause okay, okay. Um, Andre got the overall talent, but Jesse had the better career. Andre is to Prince like Jermaine Jackson is to Michael Jackson. He was that, but it never came out the way it should have. But stories and talent for days. But Jesse had the career. Yeah, he was, because he didn't get to the finals. He created MVPs, but he didn't finish nothing. And he had golden opportunities with Phoenix, and he did good with the Knicks, and he had it with Houston, and he got to coach the Lakers. Yeah, like I said before, if he'd have won one ring, he'd be the most important coach the last 25 years in the NBA, because he changed the course. He had two MVPs, and he had Lynn Sanity. Didn't get it done. Well, Tina Marie, okay, that's okay. Well, I hope you stay in touch because I definitely enjoyed your vibe. Definitely enjoyed the vibe. And like I be in different forms, so I'm just saying. I just have to ask just in case. Because I hope you come back again and will be like a one time when someone comes through that was cool and the vibe was cool. So, feel free to ask questions, like stuff like that. The family. I like 100 miles per hour. Players ball was cool, the long version. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Blue Magic, because Sideshow and uh they had some cuts. They got mixed up with the stylistic, but that's because the family. Because I love my favorite song on that family album was River Run Dry. Bought that album 40 years ago. River Runs Dry, that Bobby Z one, I liked a lot. Nothing compares to you. Um, the only thing is the strings were a bit. Claire Fisher's strings were kind of hard on my ears. St. Paul had a good voice though. I did like High Fashion. Mutiny was a very much a kissing cousin of Controversy, but it worked. But I like the family. I like the record. I like that record better than I did Maserati's album. But I did like a couple songs on the Maserati album. Strawberry Lover, Guess It's All Over. And 100 miles per hour was type of players ball. The long version was slamming. Susie was a funny song, by the way. Thank you. Oh, yeah, we see. You talking my language. You talking my language. I go back. I was oh God, music junkie head 12-step program. I can't even begin. Cover eras and time, and we didn't have the technology. We just had to like look at the records and listen to records and make, so Ray Allen, because Ray won. And Ray was a centerpiece. Became a big. Vince should have had the better career, but Ray did. We already had a good one yesterday when you mentioned Vince Carter and James Harden. I got a future video coming out. I already did that, but just saying. Yeah, he was bad. He was bad. He was bad. Temptations. Ain't nobody beating the Temptations, and I don't put bands up against vocal groups. Mine is strictly because LTE was a band, the Temptations was a group. So I don't do that as a rule when I do that. But if we're doing that, Temptations got better catalog. Better catalog. They were the original dream team. I mean, Kendrick's Ruffin, Paul Williams, before we even get to Dennis Edwards. I mean, come on. It's not even a and I love LTD, love Jeffrey Osborne, because I listen to J.O. and I like some of their stuff. Funk is one of my I like some songs they got, but far as but Temptation's gonna beat most. Okay. Wow, this poll is 50-50. Okay. Getting a lot of action, a lot of heaters tonight. I appreciate it. Man. Ooh. Ah, the barge. Better songs. Even though I think Bobby probably ghosted on some of them because I know he did that note on Queen of My Heart, but L was a better writer. Bobby had crazy talent, but El DeBarge, that pop styling and what he did, and him and Bunny, A Dream, all that stuff that's been sampled and looped, it's DeBarge. Even though I think Switch had more groove though, because I like Best Beat in Town, They'll Never Be, and I Call Your Name. They had the money tracks as far as the grown, but DeBarge had the songs that just, I, good question though. Great question. Legler. Legler for me because he got more direct. Jalen, I liked his opinions and his take, but Legs was always straightforward. Legler to me kind of got it a bit more. Just saying. But I like them both a lot. It's close, but I gotta give Legler just a slight little edge though. Because he would break stuff down. But I like Jalen a whole lot. He came a long way. And when he did that show with that duo show he had, I like that. Worst mistake he did though was getting associated with ESPN. Oh, no, I'm glad you came on too. I lived it. I got memories of it. Got reflections of it. There are artists that it's like in the back of my mind, and I remember uh heard all of them kind of acts. Can remember the songs that they did, the way it went down. Uh, you know, and that era too. Okay, right on, right on, right on. What I mean too is we can tell people about how segregated it was. Ironically, I got this thing here on this poll. The music was very segregated. I tell people all the time, Thriller was like the most important album. I'm gonna say best and all that for people getting into all that. But when I say that, I'm talking about how music was like apartheid in radio stations, and Thriller broke the chains. Michael Jackson was like Jackie Robinson. He broke the chains. So, and that thing was huge. I don't know what Madison you talking about. But anyway, that's what I talk about with that though. Hmm. Those things were real back then. David Bowie talking about MTV's racist ways and how the industry was and all that. So, you know, but we had so much going on with radio. We had so many different artists and different things that we vibe to. You don't have it today. Oh yeah. Michael Jackson did too. I don't know who Madison is. I don't know who am I supposed to. You gotta be clarified. And you're on the forum, so introduce who you are and tell me what you're pertaining to, and that's all I'm asking. Um, um, Michael Jackson did too, because they threatened to pull everybody off of Sony if they didn't put because they didn't put his videos on. That was a bold move by by Walter Yentikoff. That's how racist they were. It indeed because of the streams, which is even worse than the past. Because at least when they did payola back in the day, you figured the record was being bought on the radio. Today they stream 1 billion, and these acts don't make 1 million. Snoop Dogg was talking about that just a year or two ago. So that's how much it's changed. It's changed for the worse. But Barry White actually had an interview back in the 80s. He said this was going to happen. So I remember I watched his interview. He talked about it. And he was very very prophetic about it. Barry White's one of my favorite people to watch do interviews. He didn't sugarcoat about what he saw. So, you know, I didn't really pay attention though, but well, they always have. The difference is now they got those 360 deals. I guess I would say 2015. I would say they always have because Little Richard, no one got Jack worse than Little Richard. Are you kidding? He really went through. Oh, of course I do. He was from Houston. He did the blues before he switched up to become a funketeer before he became Huggy Bear. Of course I listen to Johnny Guitar Watson. Streams and Don't Leave Your Horses in Midstreams with Tower Power. He cold. The whole Watson funk, the whole thing. Man. Yeah, back in the day. Back in the day. Cassette singles, 45s, you name it. He was bad. Camping on records and could play, had that style. Yeah. Blowfly was funny. I'm just trying to think of some of the players that were on there. That's all. Because to be honest with you, I really don't even get excited about the NBA draft classes in the last 10 years, aside from a few players. I don't. You want my honest opinion? You're not beating the '03, and you're not beating the '96, and you're not beating the '84 draft classes. Okay. I seen the best draft classes. Most people don't even ask about any draft class after '03. They go to '96, they go to '84. There's a handful that they mention. Nothing in the modern era. Most of the time they ask about draft class of somebody that got picked like in '09 or something, like when Blake Griffin got picked in front of Steph Curry. They ain't like, oops, most of the time. So this is kind of a uncharted territory. Okay, I definitely got to get ready to go now. I got to make a call in about 3 minutes. This has been wild and great and incredible. Give me three. I got 3 more minutes before I got to roll. If y'all gonna come back tomorrow, I will be back around the same time tomorrow, though. If y'all gonna come back, just gotta come back around the same time. I want to say Eastern Standard Time. It'll be about 3 in the afternoon. Whitney Houston, not even close. I like the first 2 albums with Mary becoming Whitney's a game changer. Yep. I mean, Whitney, I appreciate you and I look forward to talking to you some more. Um, the only thing is, again, because you're not on social media forums, I let it be known when I come on YouTube, I send it, but there's sometimes they don't be on. That's why I was asking if you had any other way I could contact you because they can be funny on here. Just saying. So you happen to catch me, and then it's kind of catchy. I'm taking Barry Sanders because Barry didn't have the line and the strength that Emmett did. Emmett was bad and he's tough, but Barry Sanders moved me more. Send it to me on the thing. Because if this is this too personal, or you gonna give it to me now? You giving it to me now? Because I'll write you directly. I got my pen. So okay, I'm ready. Mike Woodson. Okay, what's your YouTube page? See, because I don't know. And now I know that you got a YouTube page. Is it under your name? Mike Woodson. Because Bernie was always lucky than more than anything to me. Tony D. I love Tony Dorsett. The most stylish running back I ever saw. Franco was tough, though. Underappreciated. But um, Tony was something else. Tony could have been even bigger in Dallas if they weren't so reluctant, if they weren't so busy pushing the quarterback. He was bad. And if they ever gave him a real fullback, Ron Springs don't count, and Preston Pearson did neither. Franco was bad though. I mean, he's underappreciated, but Tony was something else to watch. Had he had a line like Emmett Smith, he'd probably still be running. I kid you not. Yeah, Mike Woodson got ran out of New York unfairly because of Phil Jackson, all that stuff. So Tina Marie, is that under your YouTube page? Because tell me what's your YouTube page? Because I don't know nothing. I'll look you up. Roger Staubach, because he moved me more. He came up clutch, and he didn't have half the, and he did it in a decade, and he went to 4 Super Bowls, won 2 out of 4, and only because Jackie Smith dropped that ball, it could have been 3, because he had 2 blowout wins against Miami and against Denver. Think about it. Could have been 3-1 in the Super Bowl. And Pittsburgh only won at 121-17, 35-31. So he uh I know you do. Under your name, the Autism Boy Cottage is your name too, right? That's your name, right? Let me write that down again. I gotta write down everybody's pages so that way I can look it up. Started talking about it. Cottage 81. See, when I take down your stuff and I take down your information, I will write and check out your stuff. So if everybody gives me their email or their YouTube pages, I will look at you. I will follow you in return, and that way I'll let you know when I'm on. So that way we can keep this group together because it's hard to get a good connection, especially when people want to converse. Yeah, I'm taking Starbucks. Bradshaw to me was very lucky because Broadway Joe Gilliam was actually a better quarterback. Black quarterback was with Pittsburgh. He didn't get a chance to play. They were a stacked team. Bradshaw was tough to take the beatings that he took, but he didn't move me with his arm. He threw a lot of flare balls, which Lynn Swan made look incredible. That's why Lynn Swan got a lot of hype. Lynn Swan was kind of like a Robert Ory, if you will. And John Starff was a bad boy. They had a stacked team. Not taking, I give Bradshaw do, but he wasn't that great of a quarterback. I'm taking Soul Sonic Force. They hit me just a bit more. That's a rarity that you did. Yeah, I remember Lynn Byers on my dad. Lynn Byers. Lynn Byers was bad. Okay, is this your thing? Let me write it down. It's one name, 1111. Okay. So when I type that in on YouTube, it'll take me to your thing. Tina Marie, not Tima. Okay, Tina. That way I get it right. I'm writing down everybody's thing so that way anybody got something to give me, I will find you. And that way I'll follow your link and then I'll send you a message and I'll say, hey, because I'll be on tomorrow and I'll be on the next, well, I'll be on tomorrow, not Tuesday, but tomorrow, Wednesday, probably. Well, it'll be a bit early if I come on, it'll be a little bit on if I come on early. Tuesday, Wednesday be earlier. Thursday regular. Friday probably regular. To me is he's stat pads as far as I'm concerned. And he ain't doing nothing in Milwaukee with Giannis. So I'm not impressed. But he can score, but I'm not impressed though. I've seen better though. And Tina, if you want to write me on my email on my YouTube, it'll come to my direct link too, because I got my email on my thing too. So feel free to hit me up. It's on there too, because I've had direct emails come through my channel. So Diggle cuts both ways. Is it Tima or Tina? Tima? Okay. I'll try both. If I don't get one, I'll get one of you. Anyway, I want to make sure I got this. And I got you too, Autism Boy Cottage 81. I got your thing too. Yeah, I think he's overrated. He get on my nerves too. He's excited because he got that. He took that bubble ring, that bubble, no, the end season tournament trophy. He says, y'all can say he didn't win nothing. I'm like, are you kidding me? He is hilarious. Okay. Some incredible numbers tonight. I'm really glad everybody came through. This is one of the best live nights I've had in ages, and I appreciate everybody. So thank you for coming through tonight. I won't. I just got you. I just wrote it down, and I'm gonna definitely check out your stuff because I checked out sporting pages stuff because I got a direct link. So anybody I got a direct link to, you will definitely get clicks and likes, and keep on hitting the likes up in here too. So all right. I'm gonna sign off now. Appreciate everybody that came through. Well, you can hit me too. I'll hit you. Is it TIMA or TINA? Because you put TIMA on your 111. So I want to know, is it TIMA or TINA? So when I type it in, there's one on YouTube. I go directly to it. Let me know. Anyway, 52% said no. Okay. This is going to be good. You're going to hear from me because you got a lot of stuff, and your videos that you did inspired some of my takes that I did. So, everybody going to hear from me though. Peace out, peace out, peace out, peace out. Okay, so is it TIMA or TINA? Okay, cool. When I do it, you gonna get it. Okay. All right. Appreciate everybody. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay free, stay focused, stay woke. And we will be WAN. What's WANW? WAN. What's that mean, Tina? Before I go, what's that mean? WAN. What's that mean? WANN. I'm kind of confused. I'm kind of stumped. So what's that mean? If you still on, let me know what the WANN mean. Because acronyms kind of be throwing me off. So I'm a little slow sometimes. Wash your hands. Okay. Oh, that's my quote. That's my trademark. If I ever put that on a shirt, yeah. If I ever do merch, you gotta let me know if y'all wear that shirt because I use that quote all the time. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another. Yes, those are my trademarks. So I always believe in it and keep some sanitizer. Where's my sanitizer button at? See, I got me some sanitizer too. Look at that. Before you see it in the green, there you go. This is such a great night. It's a shame that I got to roll because it is definitely a good night. And appreciate all the ones hitting the likes up and everything like that. Um, we'll definitely be back tomorrow. So anyway, all right. Peace out. The best. I'm out. Have a good night.